Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another weather forecast here by Adrian's Weather Forecast. And today I'm going to have a triple upload. This is my first video, and this is going to be an update on the potential historic severe weather outbreak to come out in the southeast. It's going to be extreme severe weather, and we can possibly see up to an enhanced to a moderate risk. It's a bit too far to get up into the exact risk, but we're definitely going to be seeing major issues with the potential tornado outbreak and also extreme flash flooding and a ton of rainfall for millions, stretching all the way from Arkansas up into the Carolinas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. We're going to be seeing also extreme wind threats as well, and that can also cause power outages with the wet soil. We can possibly see half a foot of rain in some areas within one day. This is going to be on Easter Sunday, so it looks like we can possibly see an extreme severe weather outbreak on Easter Sunday, and it's not going to be pretty. This possibly be a very, very bad severe weather outbreak, and it looks very nasty even with the general radar. And I can imagine what it's like when we get to the detailed radar when it gets close enough. But be sure to subscribe, guys. We are one subscriber away from 2,085 subscribers, and let's try to get to 2,090 by the end of today. I want to thank you guys all for the support, and again, I'll have 2 videos later today, so again, definitely going to be very busy. But without further ado, let's get in the video. So we don't really have anything necessarily any alerts that has to do with this extreme severe weather outbreak to come later this weekend. But we're just going to be looking generally in the National Weather Service. We have a lot to talk about in general, not the whole video, but just to see exactly what alerts we have, just so you guys can see what's happening. So let's start off with the West Coast. We have winter storm warnings in effect in the southern Sierra Mountains out there in California due to some heavy snow out here from the incoming cold air in the southwest, and that was also going to be meeting with the moisture off the Mexico coast. So that brought some snow. Possibly really less than 2 feet of snowfall, but elevated we could possibly see 3 feet, and that's where you had those flash flood warnings and coastal flood warnings because of the threat for incredibly heavy rain out there for Los Angeles and San Diego. We have multiple wind advisories for millions of people due to the extreme wind coming in the United States from this incoming cold front. We're going to be seeing huge jet stream with just strong winds. We can possibly see hurricane force winds in areas. Again, we're seeing extremely windy conditions out here throughout the Midwest. We are seeing possibly 60 plus mile per hour winds. Out here in Georgia, we'll see 40 plus mile per hour winds, but that can definitely increase by the severe weather outbreak on Sunday. We're going to be looking at the winds later in the video, and we can possibly see hurricane force winds in areas in the mountains in Georgia and not far from Atlanta, and even out there near Raleigh. We can be seeing tropical storm force winds coming in later this weekend. We're also going to be seeing extremely strong winds as well in the northeast and mid-Atlantic. This is possibly we see the worst winds as of right now. We will possibly see 90 plus mile per hour winds out here, and that's going to definitely cause a lot of issues. And we have an incoming major blizzard out here into the New England area. Again, very small, so it's not named, but that's going to bring it up to a foot of snowfall. So this wind is going to make it completely whiteout conditions. We do have freeze warnings out here into the central plains due to the extreme cold front. We're seeing a 30 temperature drop out here, and then we have windstorm watches from this potential major windstorm Sadie, which I'll be talking about later today, and that we also have snow squall warnings near Michelle, South Dakota. So that's covering the National Weather Service. And also we have flood warning throughout much of the Mississippi River. That's definitely going to stay there throughout the next couple of days, especially with this incoming major severe weather outbreak and flash flooding. So we're going to start looking at the new updated European radar here, and this is the next 78 hours here by Saturday. So again, here you have this really heavy rain developing Texas. Really shouldn't bring a huge severe weather threat, maybe only a slight chance for Texas, but that's definitely going to increase as we get in the southeast. I'm actually quite excited because this could definitely be a major and extreme severe weather outbreak. I would not doubt if we get up to a level 4 moderate, but it's a bit too far. And if you guys see the major snowstorm, I am going to talk about it, so don't expect me to talk about it in this video. I'll be talking about it in the next video. We're actually in the video around 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. So again, we're seeing the worst is the rain starting into really northern Texas, and it's going to continue to move. Doesn't really look like a huge potential. It's really small. It's really going to be mainly some really small bands in the outskirts bringing heavy rain. Not a huge severe weather threat into the south central. Really shouldn't be seeing much of a tornado risk there. But then it starts to double its size here, and it's really going to get a lot bigger and a lot worse. You can definitely see these darker greens indicating heavier rain at a faster rate and severe weather. We're possibly be seeing a severe weather threat by Sunday now in the south central. Not on Saturday, but by Sunday, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, eastern Texas. You guys can be seeing a huge severe weather threat. And it'll be stretching all the way to South Carolina and Georgia before the main system arrives. Again, seeing these outskirts stretching all the way up out here into the northern Mississippi Valley, all the way into Illinois. And then the snowstorm and the rainstorm will connect with the rain, so we'll be seeing a ton of rain throughout the eastern coast. Millions, if not possibly 40% of the population of really the U.S. can possibly see quite a ton of rain at the same time, if not the same day. By Monday, it's not any better. Just look at this incredibly heavy rain coming through Georgia, Mississippi, Kentucky. Arkansas continues to see that heavy rain in the Carolinas, and that's going to rip through my area in northern Georgia. Definitely something a huge threat. A good thing I don't have school, because that would not be fun to drive through again. Also seeing this stretching all the way up into the Ohio Valley, and again, Mississippi Valley as well. So this is going to be affecting millions. Generally, the main region that will be affected the worst is the southeast, and technically the southeast goes all the way up to Kentucky. So including the southeast and also part of the south central, but mainly the southeast here. And then even by Tuesday and late Monday, look at this incredibly heavy rain continuing to move up. And again, we're still going to see these very strong winds as well. Continue to see that flooding now for Savannah, Charleston, Wilmington, Raleigh, and then really heavy rain. Not necessarily severe weather. This will be more of heavy rain, a chilly rain out there into the mid-Atlantic and northeast. And then the rain will be out of the southeast way by the early Tuesday morning. By Monday evening, rain should be over in these areas. So definitely we've seen quite a sunny week and a half. Really have not seen that much rain, but this is gonna drop a ton of rain. So now let's check out the new GFS radar. Well, actually, the GFS is still reloading, and it's like 30 hours away to what we need. So we're just going to go ahead and jump to the European rainfall totals, and then we'll check out the GFS radar, and then we'll check out the winds. So again, definitely you can see a huge rainmaker. Again, actually, it's kind of this whole thing, except this main system we're focusing on is right here. So again, not going to be seeing really much rain in the south central. Again, it's not going to be too shabby. Usually, it's actually going to increase as it goes into the other part of the southeast. Again, south central, really going to be seeing a maximum, really 1 to really general 3 inches out here. Not too shabby. And with the really dry weather we've been seeing, 1 to 3 inches throughout these areas is not too bad. But as we now get closer into northern Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, the Carolinas, Virginia, especially Tennessee and Kentucky, that's where we're seeing this rainfall really getting a lot worse. We can actually check out and see what we're seeing out here. In the coastal areas of the Carolinas, not much really, possibly just 1 to 2 inches of rain. It'll be the worst of it more inland out there near the Roanoke areas and much of western and central Virginia. You guys can possibly see a 2 to a 3 inch range as well of rain. And then looks like northern Georgia will be seeing up to 4 inches of rainfall. We can actually check out a really close map right here. We can actually look at, let's see, we can actually if we can find out, we have to look for Kentucky and Tennessee. Here we go. This is we're going to be really focusing on. This is where we're seeing the heaviest of the rain. And look at this. Like I said, a ton of rain for northern Georgia. Looks like my area will be seeing general 2.6 inches of rain to possibly 3 inches of rain. Looks like a northern Alabama in general will be seeing, in general, really 2.3 inches to really 3.1 inches of rain. That's what we're seeing there. So that's not incredibly bad, but again, the worst of it will be right here. This will be seeing a huge amount of rainfall. Again, as we get for Nashville, looks like Nashville will be seeing up in the border with 3.4 inches to 4.9 inches of rain. And it looks like north of, actually northwest of Nashville, we'll be seeing the worst of the rainfall. So right here in general, this is where we see the worst of it, and that's going to be ranging from 5 inches to possibly 7 inches of rain. Look at that, 6.9 inches. That's going to be right here for Kentucky. So that's 5 to 7 inches, guys. That is a ton of rainfall for one system in general, and that's going to be for really a 36-inch really period, maybe even less, because really this longer one, this will be more of a 48-hour period. I forgot for hour. Again, I'm actually seeing really strong winds as of right now. Again, we also have these winds, so can you imagine tropical storm force winds? If not, maybe just 40 to 50 mile per hour winds out here with 6 inches plus of rain. That's a lot. That's just shouting out power outages right here. So if you're right here, also have to deal with power outages, not only because of the heavy rain and flash flooding in the wet soil, also because of severe weather. Again, we can possibly see multiple tornadoes out here. And again, it looks like Lexington, 2.7 inches to 4 inches of rain, and that's going to be stretching again throughout much of the areas right here. Let's see if the GFS is actually ready. It's not yet ready, so let's go ahead now and check out the winds, and then we'll check out the GFS. Again, so the wind is a big threat. So we're already seeing quite windy by early Sunday morning. It's going to be kind of calm, but also very windy. We'll be seeing a general 10 mile per hour to 25 mile per hour winds. Again, the wind will be coming from the west. So you're going to be seeing these numbers of wind increase. Atlanta, 14 mile per hour winds. Augusta, 20 mile per hour winds. We're seeing some very strong winds at the higher elevations in the Appalachias with 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. But look at this. Seeing some high 20s and low 30s all the way up into Mississippi. Seeing 32 mile per hour winds. And this is actually not. So again, maximum's 40 knots right here. As we go within 6 hours, look at a huge change now, seeing multiple areas in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi getting into 20 to 30, if not even 46 knots out here in the Appalachia Mountains out here in the Tennessee and North Carolina border. Look at the next 6 hours by later the same day. Look at this. A huge change right here. A huge change we're seeing out here in Louisiana. We're going to be seeing up to possibly 40 to 53 knots. That's really, really strong winds. It's not going to get any better. Seeing out here south of Atlanta, 40 knots, and out here up to 55 knots. So definitely very strong wind, and then it gets even worse. We're possibly entering close to tropical storm force winds. Look at this huge general area. We're going to be seeing up to 65 knots out here in the Appalachias, seeing mainly 42 knots for Nashville and south of Nashville, possibly 60 knots. And then for general, almost all of Mississippi will be seeing more than 40 knots, which is crazy again, guys. We're seeing pouring rain and extreme severe weather at the same time. Can you imagine that? And it gets a lot worse. Look, we're getting now by Monday morning 86 knots. This is now including tropical storm force winds, extreme tropical storm force winds. For my area, I'll be seeing more than 45 knots. Just north of me, possibly again seeing that 60 to 86 knots. The Appalachias, not a good time to start traveling or really going to the mountains to hike. Looks like Huntsville seeing now 60 plus knots, and next thing you know, it gets even worse. That's be climbing the hurricane force winds at 105 knots. We'll be climbing Category 1 force winds and mile per hour winds, but Category 2 are entering close to Category 2 or into Category 2 in knots. But look at this. My area possibly seeing more than 60 knots. That's going to be devastating. And then all the way from northern Georgia to Virginia, we'll be seeing more than 75 knots here. Atlanta seeing close to 60 knots. That's not going to be good. Let's say Clemson close at 70 knots. And look at this. Raleigh 50 knots. All the way to Tallahassee 40 knots. Guys, this is going to be incredibly windy, and that's going to change drastically. Now only seeing 30 knots, now only 40 knots. But in the Carolina coastal areas, this is not going to be good. Still seeing, again, Category 1 force wind and knots. Going to be seeing Charleston and Myrtle Beach going to be seeing more than tropical storm force wind, and then that's going to be getting a lot worse for Raleigh now and Wilmington and the island's not going to get any better. And then it should calm down a teeny little bit. But again, just really strong winds. I can't even imagine. All right, now the GFS looks like it's ready. So here we have by later into Sunday, early morning, again, early Easter. Here we have this really heavy rain again developing out here into the south central Texas and Louisiana. And then within the next 12 hours, it starts to get a lot different now. We're starting to see this really heavy rain. Again, start seeing this develop. Here we have, again, the major snowstorm. That's going to bring even more rain to the north. And that's going to connect with this one from the main system. Stretching all the way from Savannah, Georgia, close into now Austin, Texas. Seeing the heaviest of the rain developing now into Mississippi, Alabama. And so seeing some other heavy spots right there into Texas. And now we get in the next 78 hours, we see a huge change, 993 millibar low pressure system. Look at this incredibly heavy rain. When you see red like this in the general radar, which usually kind of downgrades stuff, this is when you know something's definitely going to be very extreme. And again, that's going to bring incredibly heavy rain and extreme severe weather for Louisiana, Arkansas, and out there in Mississippi. Starting to see that severe weather develop into the South Carolina and Georgia area. As we now get in the next 84 hours, look at this now dropping at 990 millibars. Incredibly heavy rain heading towards Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee. Again, really, really big severe weather and flooding threats. Mississippi and Kentucky. Within the next 90 hours, it's going to go straight over my house area. And this is not going to be pretty at all. Again, dropping to 985 millibars. You know this is definitely a major system. Let's check out right here. Close up. Just look at that very heavy rain over northern Georgia, Tennessee, the Carolinas. Again, right here, guys, we'll be seeing Category 1 force winds. And look at the colors we're seeing right here. This is definitely going to be extremely heavy rain. And let's actually wait for it to go to the 96 hours here. So, yeah. Alright, so by the next 96 hours to get this really heavy rain is going to start moving towards the eastern coast, bring that very heavy rain out for the Carolinas, Mid-Atlantic, and that's going to continue to move on. Look at it now dropping at 978 millibars. Going to drop at 971. So this is definitely going to be a really strong system, and then it's going to become at 969. So not necessarily becoming a bomb cyclone because it's not dropping 20 millibars in 24 hours. So it would be awfully close to becoming a bomb cyclone. Actually, could become one. This snowstorm could become a bomb cyclone if maybe it drops a little bit more. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and bye, guys.